I slept on a bed that hangs off the side of a cliff, climbed to a hut on top of Mount Fuji, completely froze in a hotel made of ice, and camped on top of the Great Wall of China. I'm trying out all of these and more, starting with these glass cliff pods in Peru. For just $400, you get a luxury cliff capsule, but the catch, you have to climb up to it first.
Are we really doing this? Oh boy, yeah.
This is my dad, and he's joining me because, well, I'm scared and need a friend. We suited up in climbing gear and started to scale the 400-foot climb.
Fear kind of went away and the adrenaline kicked in.
And the climb only gets more intense the higher you go. Like this sketchy bridge you have to cross, which is basically just a wire dangling 300 feet in the air. Once you make it to the top, you hop onto your tiny platform above your capsule and hop in. Inside you get 4 beds, a small drink station, and a bathroom.
About as good of a bathroom view as you can get.
But the best part has to be this insane view. I can't help but wonder how you would order room service from up here. Then in the morning you zip line down the mountain. This is easily the most extreme thing I've ever done, but when I posted this video to my Instagram, Michael442 said, try a portaledge. That's actually extreme. Softy, I googled it and turns out he was right. A portaledge is just a cot that hangs literally on the side of a cliff. I had to prove Michael wrong, so I booked a portaledge for a couple months from now. But before then, I also booked a bunch of other experiences that all gradually get more extreme. And first, a submarine. This is not just any submarine, however.
So this is HMS Bond. Would you believe it's actually the real film prop used in the James Bond film, The World Is Not Enough? And here it is now, and it sleeps 5.
This is Reese, who runs the world's weirdest campground. It's called the Windmiller Campground, and it hosts a ton of different activities and campsites. You can sleep in a helicopter, visit the silent disco. I've got Barbie girl on right now. Watch a movie in an old silo, or make some food on this double-decker bus. Oh, and the laundry machine is in the back of a van, because why not? But the submarine is definitely the best spot here.
Right through into here, my friend. Here's how we built the whole thing here. When you watch the film back, they're having a big old fight in the scene, and they basically crash it into the bottom of the ocean.
But these days the submarine comes with a full-sized kitchen.
There's also a dining room table where you can have dinner with James Bond himself.
And once you enter the main part of the ship, you'll find your bed and even controls to play around with.
I don't know what any of these gears do, but they look pretty cool.
Be careful though, because some of the controls do actually work. Whoops. There's also a periscope, which I started to have a lot of fun with.
Land ho, matey!
But the best part of this whole ship is actually right here.
Let's see what's up this ladder.
You can climb on top of the submarine to get a view of the entire camp.
Not a bad spot.
For dinner, I visited the camp store that's entirely run by the honor system.
Everything's listed with a price, and then you put the money in the till after you take it.
For tonight, I had to grab a pizza. Yes, there's a cast iron pizza oven here too. This place literally has everything. But it's time to get a little more extreme. In the middle of the Costa Rican jungle, there's a giant 727 airplane that looks like it crash landed there, but that's not the case. I didn't want to explore this plane alone, so I brought my family. Inside the plane, you'll find a fully renovated suite with everything you'd ever need. For $600 a night, you get not 1, but 2 bedrooms, a kitchen and dining area, living room, and the best part, the cockpit is the bathroom. There are still some controls in there as well.
Stop it.
Outside you get your own porch with a set of chairs and this hammock, which lets you enjoy this incredible view. And when it's time to eat,
727 avion. Thank you so much. They come pick you up for dinner.
Yeah.
the restaurant here is of course in another airplane.
I think I'm a little biased, but I like our airplane better.
But when you eat here, you're definitely never alone. Just look around and you'll start to notice a few other visitors. Is that a monkey? It seems like they are everywhere.
There are monkeys right behind your head right now.
Luckily, they seemed pretty shy and didn't ask for a bite. The next day, we took a boat tour to meet the monkeys.
So
That's Jerry.
Jerry's wild.
This is Jerry, head of the monkey family and absolute psychopath. Jerry scared off Susie. Even though some monkeys may be a little more wild than others, it's definitely worth the trip to visit this little family. From here, things are going to get a lot more uncomfortable, like sneaking onto the Great Wall of China and staying the night.
It's not exactly legal to camp on top of the wall.
But next is this hotel in Finland that's made completely out of ice. Like it's below freezing in every single room.
And I'm gonna be spending the night here tonight. This is crazy.
Inside there are a bunch of different themed rooms, like a chess room with giant chess pieces, a mermaid room, a worm room,
Who wants to sleep next to a worm?
a princess in the frog room, I guess. But my room is the best one here.
This is my room.
The snow sculptures in this room are hand carved by an artist and are pretty insane. It doesn't stop there. You can find an entire restaurant and bar inside this hotel too. There's even more to do outside.
There's also a little sledding hill over here.
When it gets dark and very cold, there's a heated cabin with some free hot berry juice.
This juice is so good.
And for dinner, you can choose to eat inside the ice hotel
Or at this restaurant with an open fire in the middle of it. That was an easy decision.
After being in the cold so long, the hot food will literally put you in a trance. Okay, I can't get too cozy because next I'm going to be swimming in the Arctic Ocean.
Right behind me is an icebreaker ship.
And these ships can break through 6 feet of solid ice.
Let's go get on board.
If you're crazy enough, you can take this boat into the middle of the frozen sea and swim in the world's coldest waters.
Cutting through this ice like butter.
Look at these massive chunks of ice. But once the ship comes to a stop, it's time for things to get a bit more extreme.
We've just arrived at our destination. This is where we're about to swim.
Before jumping in, the crew wraps you in a very stylish wetsuit.
Kind of look like an Oompa Loompa.
It gets pretty scary walking up to the ledge before you jump. They only allow people to swim for about 10 minutes because any more than that and your brain can literally stop functioning. Why am I doing this again?
Alright, here we go. Oh my gosh.
Floating in the water actually turned out to be a very calming experience.
This is oddly relaxing.
And my next experience is even more intense. I'm staying on Komodo Island, an island that is completely overrun with Komodo dragons.
No way. We've been here for 3 minutes. Ferdinand, that thing's scary looking.
Komodo dragons are the most dangerous lizards in the world. They can run just as fast as humans and possess a venom that can kill anyone with just one bite.
There's a deer right behind us. What if that one thinks I'm a deer?
This is Ferdinand. He's my protector in case any lizards want to eat me.
They can suddenly try to attack from behind or wherever you want to go. Yeah.
It's probably best to keep your distance. And some of these dragons look really well fed. No offense. This is only the beginning. Ferdinand tells me that next we are getting in a boat to swim with more deadly creatures.
Let's see how many wild animals we can almost get killed by today.
Once you hit the water, you're quickly greeted by these massive manta rays. Like, they are everywhere. They may seem scary because of their size, but luckily manta rays are actually quite friendly and don't mind people coming up close to them. Just, don't touch them. This was easily one of my favorite experiences so far. Once we got back on the island, there was one more wild adventure before bed.
Oh my gosh.
You can find this real-life bat cave. The cave is filled with an estimated 2,000 bats, and it can get really loud in there. But it's not just the bats.
They're coming at us! Whoa.
I had to get out of there. Even though this island is full of some of the most dangerous things I've ever seen, the generous people here make it worth a visit. But this next experience is something very few people have ever done. I'm camping on top of the Great Wall of China, but there may be one problem.
It's not exactly legal to camp on top of the wall.
So me and my sneaky guide Jack are scoping out a secluded part of the wall to sleep on. Most pictures of the Great Wall usually show this, a beautiful view with brick towers and plenty of room to walk. But not here. This part of the wall isn't restored. No one should be around. Well, except for these workers, apparently.
Met some guys in there. I thought they were gonna kick us out, but they were workers and they were actually really nice.
Luckily, it was no big deal we were there, and this was a good spot for the night. So we headed back down the trail to get our gear and some food. And the food in the village is amazing.
Oh my gosh.
After dinner, Jack wanted to warm me up for a long night on the wall, so he showed me some pretty interesting exercises. It was actually pretty fun. When it was time to hike back up, we were able to hitch a pretty sweet ride with a local villager back to the trail. Luckily, we made it to the tower before sunset, and the first thing I had to do was check out the top of the tower. The view up here is amazing. We set up the tents inside the tower so we didn't blow away, and there was even a nice surprise.
Oh man, I got full bars up here.
I went to bed pretty early after a full day of hiking, but this wasn't even close to the hike I'm about to do next. This is Mount Fuji, the tallest mountain in Japan and one of the most iconic mountains in the world. It's also where I'm staying for the night. There are little huts at the summit where you can rent a bed for $90 a night. The problem is you have to make it to the top before sunset. If you're late, the kitchen closes and you could potentially be turned away. Me and my two friends, Alan and Sam, have just 6 hours to make it to the top.
Naturally, we chose the Gotemba Trail, which is the hardest, the longest, steepest.
But according to Google, we should have enough time. Sort of. So we started the hike as fast as we reasonably could.
Someone told me it was good for you to walk backwards. I don't know. I look stupid, don't I? Yeah.
Then suddenly the time crunch got real.
So we have about an hour and a half of hiking left and 45 minutes to get there before they close the kitchen. Let's go.
It was time to put my game face on.
Let's go! I'm too tired for this.
Somehow, someway, we made it to the hut, maybe just a tad late.
Well, we vastly underestimated that hike, but we made it.
The huts come with the essentials: a bathroom, a kitchen, complimentary Crocs, oh yeah, and a bed, which is kind of a tight squeeze, especially for 3 people. Luckily, the hosts were kind enough to keep the kitchen open for us, and it was some of the best food I've ever had.
Might be the best curry in the world right there.
Then it was time for bed and to figure out how we were all gonna fit in here. It was not the greatest night of sleep.
Good morning.
We had to head out so we can experience one of the best views in the world, the sunrise on top of Mount Fuji. And even though we may not have slept and went a little bit crazy, this view made up for all of it.
The sunrise just keeps getting better and better.
And now it's finally time for the most extreme thing I have ever done. To prove Michael 422 wrong and sleep on a cot that hangs over jagged rocks and crashing waves. This is Jeremy, my guide, who gets a kick out of watching people like me suffer on a portaledge.
It's looking a little sketchy.
And it was time to descend into my home for the night. My heart was beating so fast that's really all I could hear. Until finally, I made it. And then I tried to settle in.
Got it locked in around this loop here.
After a couple hours of relaxing, I may have gotten a bit too comfortable.
Gotta get ready for that dinner. Oh, okay, no more sit-ups. That moved way too much. I felt secure until that moment right there.
Luckily, I had a couple things to distract me and calm me down.
Look at this. It's dinner time.
For dinner, Jeremy lowered me down quite the 5-star meal. Eating dinner on the side of a cliff is not something I ever thought I would be doing, but it was really a peaceful experience. Even though this is the most dangerous thing I've done throughout this entire journey, I've actually never felt more at peace. This was my favorite experience of them all. I'm definitely no softie. If you want to see more insane places like this, make sure to subscribe and let's be the fastest new YouTube channel to ever hit 1 million subscribers.